Ayo, we're back. Fresh hip hop opinion, FHO with your guy, Oleezeh, you know what I mean? We're here for another episode, and this one is all about the list of all hip hop albums that earned diamond status in the US of A, okay? In the US, okay? You know, diamond status is basically when an album sold 10 million albums. This is when we had physical CDs back in the day. Now it's all digital, but yeah, back in the day, 10 million albums sold was awarded by the Recording Industry Association of America with a diamond status. Okay, there's only been 10 albums that actually achieved this status, and I'm gonna do a little countdown of all the albums that did that. So, because it's a quick one, starting at number 10 is a rapper that you may or may not be surprised with this list, but I knew he sold a lot because I was a bit of a fan. He's from my era. It's the guy from St. Louis. You probably got it. It's Young Nelly. Nelly sold 10.5 million albums with Country Grammar. That was his debut album that blew up back in like 2000. That's the song. That's the album with obviously the song Country Grammar, which was massive. You had EI, which was like the club song. You had Rider B, which was a big song as well. Remember that in school. But that sold 10.5. That's coming in number 10. Number 9, guy from way back in the day, MC Hammer. Even I was a little boy when this came out. This album was called Please Hammer, Don't Hurt Him. And that obviously went diamond, which is every album on this list, of course. But obviously, that went and sold 10.1 million copies. That would have been in the probably early 90s, probably like 91 or 90, probably. Can't really think of what song would be on that. Maybe Pray and Hammer Time, probably, because that was a big song back in the day. Number 8, moving quick on this thing, we got Beastie Boys. Bit of a surprise for me, actually. I didn't think they sold big units like that, but it must have been in the late 80s. That's when they were big. So Beastie Boys with the album called License to Ill, which sold 10.1. So same as MC Hammer, but must have been a little bit more. Okay, and then number 7 comes to Machiavelli, The Don, Tupac Shakur with All Eyes on Me. No big surprise, this is on that list. That's a diamond album that sold 10.2 million albums. And what happened was, with because this was a double CD, because what used to happen was if you had a double CD, your album was credited like double sales. So this album actually would have sold 5.1, but because it was a double CD, they doubled it. So that's what made it cool, made it a 10.2. There's quite a few albums on this list with that sort of situation, actually. And then we got number 6, yeah? No real surprise here. You got the great American hope, Eminem Show, which was out. This is actually my favorite Eminem album. This came out in 2002, was that 2003? But that was the album that I started liking Eminem properly, because that album was pretty sick. But that album sold 10.9 million albums, so another big one. 10.9 million sold in America. Now into the top 5. Wow, this is a big shock here, boy. Kid Rock, okay. Kid Rock, okay. I didn't even know he sold units like this, but I was never a fan of Kid Rock. I wouldn't even regard him as hip-hop, but he did rap, to be fair. He did rap, I remember a few songs. But yeah, his album was called Devil Without a Cause, which came out in, I don't know what year it came out, I don't care. This album sold, though, 11 million copies, which is, that's amazing. That is amazing. Then number 4 was Tupac again, Greatest Hits, which sold 11 million copies. And that was it. I remember this. This was the first, well, it was kind of the first, or kind of the second album that came out after his death. But this came out in 98 with a big song, probably his biggest song that he actually released in total, like after his death and before his death, which was Changes. That came off that Greatest Hits album. Again, that was a double CD. So really he sold for 5.5, but they doubled it to make it 11. Number 3, Tupac won't be happy with this. Notorious B.I.G.'s Biggie Smalls with the Life After Death album, which sold 11.1. That's a little bit more than Tupac. On number 3, this is like what people kind of regard as his best album, but I preferred his first album, which was Ready to Die. But this had a lot of big songs. It was 10 Crack Commandments, Hypnotize. It was a crazy song for songs, actually, I ain't gonna lie. But as an album, I preferred the first one. But yeah, coming into number 2 now, almost done. This will probably be a big shock for everyone. Not a big shock for me because I was very into what people sold back in the day, so I knew they sold units. But number 2 comes in with the legendary group Outkast with, you can guess the album really, it's Speakerbox, The Love Below, which was another double CD, just like Biggie's and Tupac's. And Outkast album was, for those that don't know this album, was basically Andre 3000 did a crooner singing album. That was the Love Below bit. Then the other CD was the Speakerbox. That was by Big Boy, the other guy of Outkast, the rapper. And that was more traditional hip-hop. Him just rapping on it. Yeah, that sold 11.2 million albums. That was back in 2003, I remember that. Time of good music, 50 came out that year as well. But what was crazy about them actually is that they never actually did another album after this, which is crazy because, you think an album sold like that, the record company would probably be trying to get them to put another album out within the next year or 2, but they just did one other album, which was a soundtrack for their movie they did. I think it was called Older World or something like that, in like 2006 or something like that, yeah. But coming in at number 1, no big surprise, if you know, you know. The blonde-haired dude, Eminem, Slim Shady, came in at number 1 as expected, really, in hip-hop, with the Marshall Mathers LP, the first one that came out in, what was this now, 2000 and, I think that's 2001, yeah, because it's 8 Mile soundtrack came out 02, I think, so that sold 11.3, so that just ahead of Outkast, but that sold 11.3 million albums. This is the album with Stan and The Way I Am. This was a big album, big album. But yeah, that's your top 10 right there. I was actually shocked that 50 wasn't on this, but to be fair, 50 sold I think 12 billion for its first album, but the US he only sold 8. But I'm surprised, yeah, there's a few people that I'm surprised didn't actually get diamond status in hip-hop history, but these are the 10. That is it. There's no The Game, there's no Jay-Z, there's no Nas, there's no, like I said, 50. There's no Lauryn Hill, some big selling units, artists. That's it for this episode of Fresh Hip Hop Opinion with your guy Oleezeh. Tune in next time, we'll be talking about something more interesting and more informative, okay? Check me out on my other socials, Oleezeh Music on all the socials, Oleezeh Clothing on Etsy, clothing store, and we'll tune in to next time. Peace.